Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Paint for Fun. So today I'm going to be talking about color mixing. So if you're just beginning, I'll help you out on how to mix some colors together. We're going to be working with primary colors and also black and white and a little bit of gray. So let's get started. I have the primary colors right here, red, yellow, and blue. So I'm going to put them down on the paper just to show you what's going to happen once we start mixing them. So every time I'll switch color, I'm going to just rinse out my brush to keep them nice and clean. So we have some red there, we have some yellow that I'm putting down now, and finally the blue. So there you have it. These are your primary colors. So with these colors, once you start mixing, you can make any color of the rainbow with them, okay? We're gonna get started on the secondary colors. So anytime you mix a primary color together, you'll end up with a secondary color. As an example, I'm going to mix a little bit of red and yellow here, equal parts of both, and we will get an orange. So let me put that down right there. And we're gonna move on to the next secondary color, which is yellow and blue will make green. So I'll mix that right here. Take a little bit of yellow, and there you have it. That's your green tone. And finally, if you mix blue and red together, you will end up with purple. So I'm gonna take a little bit of red here, a little bit of blue, and put that down right here. So this is gonna be your purple hue. And there you have it. So these are your secondary colors. Now, getting into tertiary colors. Tertiary color is basically taking any of the primary colors and mixing them with a secondary color. You'll end up with another hue, which is a tertiary color. So if I mix blue and purple together, we'll get that right here. You'll end up with more of a bluish purple. All right. Now, if I mix some red with the purple, let me just remix my purple. And if I put a little more red in there, you'll end up with a purple tone that's a little bit warmer. It has more of a red undertone to it. Okay? So if I move along on the color wheel, if I mix some red with orange, I'll end up with more of an orangey red tone, which I'll put down right there. Finally, if I take some orange, which I'll mix right here, and put a little more yellow into it, you'll end up more with a yellow toned orange color. Now, if I take the yellow and mix it with green, I'll get more of a limey color. So it's a green with a yellow undertone. And finally, if I mix the blue and green together, I'll end up with more of a blue-green. Okay, so there you have it. This is the basic color wheel with primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. So just by using your primary colors, you can see what a variety of different colors you can get when you start mixing them together. So as another example, I'm going to start to talk a little bit about shades, tints, and tones. So a shade basically is any hue or color. These are all considered hues as well. So you could call them either colors or hues. Anytime you take a color or hue and you add some black to it, this is considered a shade. So I'll use red just as an example. So if I take red right here and I put it down pure red, and I start to gradually mix some black in there, you're gonna see that it's gonna get darker and darker. So I'm gonna add just a little more black. And finally, a little more black. And you'll see that it progressively gets darker and darker, and you'll always have that red undertone to it. So that is considered a shade. If I do the same thing and add white, it's considered a tint. So let me just take basic red as once again, and start to progressively add white to it. So I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of white to begin. And as I go along, I'll add more and more white. And you'll see that it'll just get lighter and lighter, becoming more of a pink color. So you'll see all the varieties you can get by just adding black or white. And finally, a tone is when I'll take a color or hue and add gray to it. So I'll do the same thing with some red. Take a little bit of red here, and I'll start mixing a little bit of gray in there. So this will kind of dull down the color, make it a little more muddy. And the more gray I add, the more dulled down it'll become. And finally, you'll get this reddish toned gray color. And you could do this with any of the colors. So just by adding a little bit of black and white or gray, you can get such a different variety of colors or hues, shades, tints, tones. By mixing your primary colors, you can get a different variety of colors as well. So don't be afraid to experiment. It's really, really simple to do. Just have fun with your painting and try it out. Thanks for watching.